What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Bucks on Deck podcast episode. I'm Anthony Murphy. With me is my co-host, as always, Mr. Nola Jeffy. How's it going, man?
It's just another day in paradise.
I guess that's technically true for me right now for the next week, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
it's
it's your paradise.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, haven't heard, I'm in Bradenton this week. So got in early this morning. Very long day for me, but I hit the ground running. I didn't get a chance to go out and see the Pirates complex team. They were like 2 hours out the way, but I did slide by and get to meet Eric Birdland, Eric Garfield. Got to meet him in person. We watched the Orioles Rays game. It was a good game. Orioles lost, but that was fun. Looking forward to a whole week of nothing but baseball. I don't think I'm going to miss a complex game from this point forward, or at least for the rest of the week. So pretty excited on that. And I flew for the first time. Or first time when I wasn't a child. I was born in Hawaii.
Got your wings.
Yeah, I was born in Hawaii, so obviously I had to fly to get out of there. And then we went
Makes sense.
Yeah, and we flew to Belize when I was like 2, or the country my mom's from. So, but that's it. So yeah, that was fun. It's been a really long day. So. Got some fun stuff for you. We figured we're going to keep it a little bit like Bradenton themed since, I'm here now. We're going to the main reason for the trip, at least the timing of the trip, is because I wanted to get a chance to come out to see the complex team played. Obviously, it's not something that most of these players, we don't get a chance to really see much until they hit Bradenton. So there's always that little air of mystery with them. Trying to get rid of that this year, get a good eye on all of them. There's quite a few players repeating this year, but there are some new names. They brought up a lot of pitchers from the Dominican. It looks like a couple other notable names on here. I figured we just kind of go through and maybe rattle off some guys that we're kind of interested in getting to know more, kind of thing. And I know there'll be some obvious names with it. Maybe we could just go ahead and start with like the obvious one. I know the guy that you and I are really, really high on, and that's Xander Meath. He made his professional debut on Saturday. It was, if you want to know just how rookie ball can be at times, just look at his box score, and that'll kind of tell you what it can be. He pitched 3 1/3, gave up 3 hits. Gave up 6 runs, but none of them were earned.
Nope. Thanks to 2 errors from third baseman.
Back to back. So, what's your I know we got to see Meath like very briefly in one of the streams that the Pirates complex had at the end of the year. So maybe we can just kind of draw on that. So what's your thoughts on Meath so far, or just like in general?
I mean, of everything we've seen so far, I know we even got a little bit of metrics watching that live feed of his one start last year in a complex game. Or it was Instructs, I believe.
Yeah.
He throws hard and a lot of movement from his arm angle. Mm-hmm. I see him as someone who's should pretty easily breeze through the low levels just based off of those aspects alone, just the arm angle, the movement, velocity. He's someone that could probably lay waste to, especially FCL.
Yeah.
Potentially, I mean, if depending on where the command and control is at, low A probably won't be much of a competition for him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of that's going to come down to the command and control of where he's at. Young kid, obviously, prep pitcher. So excited to see how everything comes together.
Yeah, I was pretty much bought in when I saw a video and it was a hard throwing high school pitcher that throws from a lower arm slot. And then that's pretty much all you had to tell me. And like, I was kind of just in at that point. And like we saw him hit, I think it was like 96, 97 with like there's just so much run on that fastball. And then the slider pairs like tunnels well with it. The changeup does as well. It's just like he's a guy that obviously is going to get overlooked right now just because the level that he's at and who the Pirates have like pitching wise. But like I feel like there's a lot of systems that like you drop in a couple other systems and he can challenge to be like one of the top pitching prospects, if not the top pitching prospects elsewhere. Just because of like the intrigue and the arm angle and the velocity and stuff like that.
Right. And like I think it was after that prospects game where I made that comment where the Pirates are going to corner the market on flat two seamers. And that was one of the things we saw with him when he threw that thing with the run of it aside. Like it was a very flat two seamer where it's just like, man, the guys are going to struggle with that.
Yeah.
Just as we're saying with like Hunter Barco, who's throwing 94, 95 now, like it's not easy to hit.
Yeah. Low angle. Got to imagine standing as tall as he is, the extension is probably really good on it as well. So 95, 96 is looking a couple extra miles higher for that. But he's the guy that like I was really hoping that I'd get an opportunity to see while I was down here, and seeing that he pitched on Saturday. You know, the complex, they usually a lot like Bradenton when it comes to the rotation, they give him like a specific day, and that's kind of like you pitch the once per week. So I should be able to get a chance to see him. I think another of the bigger name too is Tony Blanco Jr. And really like the dude's enormous. The dude's huge.
Yeah.
And he's like 18 years old and he's just built. And he hits the ball really hard. The question with him is going to be, can the Pirates help him cut back on the swing and miss issues that he had while he was in the Dominican League? What is it? He struck out like 40% of the time in the Dominican
something
League.
Ridiculous like that. He had like a ridiculous average exit velocity, but also, struck out a lot.
Yeah, I think the BA article had it like he averaged like the average exit velocity was like 94 and a half or something like that, which would put him like that's upper tier major league kind of stuff. That gets so like all the metrics say like his raw power is probably like, I know it's rare to throw out like an 80 grade for anything, and like I don't like to throw those out, but like when it comes to raw power, like he's where the bar like goes to the top.
Well, and you figure, especially with like these DSO kids, like the listed height and weight is whatever it is when they sign, and it pretty much doesn't get updated until they make the majors. Unless that's what I actually just did a search real quick to see if like there was like a 2024 Pirates media guide, because that's usually has updated numbers. But I mean he was listed 6'7", 243 already. So
that's insane. They still have him. I think they still have him listed as an outfielder. I don't think that's going to be. I don't know what is it. We're recording this on Monday, and he what is it, doubled and drew a walk there. I'm pretty sure he played first, but I didn't know.
DH.
He DH'd. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a guy to where there's going to be a lot of pressure on the bat to kind of come through, and if they can cut the swing and miss down a little bit, then, or a lot of it, then like, man, I mean, Pirates fans they really want that first base prospect. That's kind of the guy right there.
And that's especially with everything we've seen in the past years. Like if he does what Yordani did last year, he might get pushed to Bradenton, but there's probably a good chance he might even stay in the FCL all season. But it would be great to see him go to Bradenton just to see how he himself handles breaking balls. Like if it's gonna look like another Moika Scotto Yordani, their first taste of low A ball is just they get eaten up alive.
Yeah, and you brought up Mojica, and then even like someone like Axial Plies, like the guys who are a lot more physically mature over in the Dominican, they tend to put up those numbers, and it doesn't always translate because they're kind of ahead of the game kind of thing. So, and we saw Plies struggle quite a bit last year in the FCL. So normal situations, I would probably say like, yeah, Blanco's probably in the complex league all year, but with the way that they pushed the schedule up a year, I think, and like the way that they kind of did like some of the roster assignment, because like Yordani, he played quite a bit, like he struggled in Bradenton, but he also played quite a bit there. So like I think everyone kind of figured he would just start at Bradenton again. But like I like once they announced the roster and he didn't make it, I kind of just assumed that if it was any other year, like Yordani probably makes Bradenton. But because it's pushed up, they can start him in the complex, and then there'll still be plenty of time left in the Bradenton season to get him back up there. Same thing with Blanco. Like in a normal situation, Blanco probably doesn't touch Bradenton. But now with the season starting earlier and ending, I think it like ends in like July, like late July. So that still gives them a month and a half or so. They can just take, if Blanco plays well, they could just take him straight from the complex league when that season's done and have him finish off with Bradenton now.
Yeah, I guess the other thing though is too, with it being pushed up, is they don't need to make space for draft picks this year though.
Yeah.
So when they get the, because a lot of times even like the college arms, like the not Paul Skeens might, step into FCL at first, or definitely the prep kids, the ones that will see time in their draft year, will go to the FCL, and you're not going to see that this year. Basically, you're not going to see any draft picks until their first full year.
Yeah. Yep. So definitely gonna be interesting how they kind of work that too, and like we'll probably end up diving a little bit deeper into that as we get closer to like draft time and the end of the FCL and stuff like that. But how about you? Did anyone kind of so like we talked about this before we started recording, that like a lot of these players are coming from the Dominican League, and like I don't generally like to talk about prospects at that point on there because it's kind of we're just box score scouting at this point, and like I've never been a big fan of that myself. But I mean, looking at some of the numbers and maybe some of the other stuff we have heard, anyone particular kind of stand out to you?
Well, I guess two of the more well-known names are going to be like Estuar Suero and Johnny Severino. Those are obviously pretty well-known names. Severino one for 3 Monday morning or afternoon. Suero went 1 for 4. So they're both toolsy kids, a lot of raw power. So just to see the progression, if they can, they're two more kind of along the lines of Yordani, where they might just be kind of like a tune-up and go to Bradenton, because Bradenton had a good week last week, but let's be honest, that offense is still a little light.
Yeah, it was very much the pitching that well, I mean, the offense had some explosive games, but was it the pitching pitched like back-to-back shutouts? They had like a one-hitter
right
too. So like the offense has been better, but also it's the pitching that's carrying them at this point.
And I would imagine that Delgado, the infielder they just received from the Brubaker trade, I imagine he probably moves up pretty quickly.
Me and Bertha, when we're talking about, we have like a conspiracy theory on that, because if you look at the transaction log, Wesley Zapata got sent down today. So maybe
Zapata's been everywhere.
Yeah, like he started in the complex league last year, never played in Bradenton, and they just slapped him in Greensboro for a couple games because they needed an extra body there.
I think he even got a hit too.
I believe so. Yeah. So
kind of like when Dixon went up to Indy and got a home run.
It was a grand slam.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, like Swear's one of the guys that I'm excited about seeing too. He's got like all the tools and everything. You know, big guy, speed, some power potential. Berlin's had a bunch of videos of him, and the sound of the bat when he makes contact is like one of those things. Like, okay, he's different. He's different than everybody else, kind of thing. So hopefully he can make the strides and we can see him in Bradenton by the end of the year. So we could get some, exit velocity numbers, because that's the kind of stuff that we like. But staying on the hitting side, is another guy that like through some like the videos and stuff like that. Hadn't really heard of him much beforehand. Mainly, like I said, I don't pay too much attention to the DSL and stuff. But Edward Oviedo, has a double, 3 RBIs this year already. He's 2 for 6, and the four at bats that weren't hits, they've all been strikeouts. So like, I mean, he's still 19, doesn't turn 20 until the end of the season. But like, I asked Birdland, like I sent him a message before I came down, and like when we were doing like the preview stuff, because I was going to do some players to watch, but I figured we'd just do it on here. And I asked for a couple players from like what he's been seeing, and he was one of the guys that he mentioned and stuff like that. He has shown some pretty solid power in some of the like the scrimmages and stuff like that. So he like I said, buyer beware, because it's DSL numbers, but he did cut down on the strikeouts from his first year there to the second year. His WRC plus jumped from 60 to 129 his second year.
He hit 5 home runs in his second year too. So
yeah, and you could hear that. You could hear the pop in the bat whenever. So I mean, we're desperate. They're desperate for pitching, right? Or for hitting, right? So
yeah. Well, and that's why one guy I hope works out just based off his name alone is John Zarilla.
Yes. That was it. I follow him on Instagram, and he does that like an IG live like 20 times a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get live reports from him constantly. So how about, did you have anyone else?
I guess just out of curiosity, Luke Scher, who was the undrafted free agent. Yeah. I always forget how it's technically called. I think it's called like 2 different things, but yeah, the prep undrafted free agent, they got very late in the signing period last year. I think they like got it like just under the wire. Yeah. He was a Cal Poly commit catcher, listed 6'1", 215. So I guess just the way that all unfolded, it seems like someone they were very interested in. So
you don't see the prep undrafted free agent thing happen too often, or at least I can't imagine you're going to see that too often, because you would think at some point you just go to college and then you hopefully try to improve your stock at that point. Yeah. So
who was it? Man, because I even just did it was one of the previews, one of the past 2 weeks. I forget who. One of the teams, they had like, I want to say it was the 2020 year where they signed, and they had a max undrafted free agent bonus at $20,000, but they somehow signed like 4 or 5 prep kids in 2020.
That's crazy. I guess if you want to talk about prep catchers too, I wonder if like who's it? John Lopez. He was drafted by them last year. He's on the Bradenton roster technically right now, but he's on like the development list.
Yeah, so he got what, 1 game? I want to say 1, maybe 2.
With Bradenton?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Oh no. Yeah, I guess he was just active maybe for a game. I thought he played 1.
I think he was like active for 1, and then they put him on like the development list, or he was probably on it the whole time. It just took a day or 2 for us to see anything about it.
I thought he had played a game. Oh well, I make things up every now and then.
I mean, no harm in that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So complex league team, like we said, it's I didn't want to spend too much time on it just because a lot of these guys like we've never seen before, so it's hard to
No.
talk to them. It's hard to talk about them, and I don't like talking about guys just based off like pulling up a Fangraphs page. But
And let's be honest, we would probably have to get John on here, who's the one that gets all the in-depth behind-the-scenes detail on these guys, especially when they're in just the DSL. No one knows more information than him.
Yeah, he's the best with that. And I might slide him a message too and see if he has anything on any of the DSL guys coming over. But
everybody knows about one of them,
Blanca.
Matoma.
Oh yeah, Matoma. Yeah, Matoma. Yeah, Matoma. Maybe I mean it won't be as fun if I go out there and watch him pitch and he hits 100, but there'll be like no way for me to tell that it was 100 miles an hour.
Someone will tell you.
I'll find some. I'll go up. You know, they have the little which is behind home plate where like all the Pirates guys sit. I'll go back there and start bugging them. Like, hey, how fast was it? That's what I did with at the Rays game. The Rays Orioles game today. I went up to him and was like, hey man, how hard was that guy throwing? And yeah.
So, well, I imagine if Matoma hits 100, you'll probably hear all of 12 people that are there go, ooh.
Yeah, they'll start talking. So, but yeah, that's a fun story. I mean, I would like to see that maybe try. I mean, he's 18, so maybe they don't push him to do the multi-inning thing yet, but.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that'd also be nice to maybe see him throw 2 or 3 innings, maybe at some point.
Well, you never know. Since as we were just talking about it, at first it said Matoma was pitching today, and then it flip flopped to a new name, and it was this. I'm probably just gonna butcher all these names. Dioris Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's only 17, and he went 3 2/3 today.
Yeah, the line didn't look bad, and like we were talking there at the game. It's like because at first we thought it was Matoma, and like we all thought it was weird that he was throwing almost 4 innings on 1 day's rest. So that made sense once it updated. But
right.
I mean, it's solid numbers for a 17-year-old in the complex. So I guess he'd be another guy to watch. Like I won't go too deep into him, but like in Wilbur's preview, he did mention that like Carlos Mateo reportedly can reach triple digits with his fastball, but he also walked 30 and had 16 wild pitches in 12 innings.
Hell yeah!
So
it's Mateo all over again.
If he pitches while I'm at one of the games, that's the top of the second inning of that Orioles Rays game I went to. Took probably close to like 40 minutes, just that top of the inning. So if he pitches one of those, I can imagine we're probably in line for one of those. Rookie League is fun, man. It's fun. You got to be committed to baseball to get through one of those games because it's hot.
A lot of balls.
Yeah, the bleachers are not comfortable. Errors, walks, ball. The Rays scored their first run on a walk, 2 stolen bases, and then a balk. I don't even think anyone's swung the bat yet. Like legitimately hadn't swung the bat yet, and they already had a run.
Yeah, and I when I was down there for spring training, I made it to Pirate City one day, and there was definitely no coverage. Like you're going to be in the heat.
Yeah.
I'd say make sure to park your car dead center, but Blanco might still hit it. So.
I'm glad I got that extra insurance on it.
There you go.
On the rental. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and transition to the last part of the episode, and that's what Nola shines in, our weekly preview. We're going to take a look at who the Pirates are playing, and especially once we get to Bradenton, I'm definitely going to be listening in pretty closely.
Yeah, so it was actually a pretty solid overall week for the Pirates affiliates. Indianapolis is coming off a 4-2 week, and this week they're going up against a Cincinnati Reds affiliate, the Louisville Bats. I know Jim probably plans on being at a game or two for that, probably. The top prospect currently on the Bats roster is Connor Phillips. He's their fourth ranked prospect per pipeline as of right now. He's on 3 top 100 lists. He made 5 starts last year in MLB with like a 6.97 ERA. Got roughed up a bit. And really, so far this year, it hasn't been much better. He has a 8.64 ERA through 6 starts. But other than him, the other guys are Blake Dunn, Lyon Richardson, and Reese Hins are the other 3 top 30 on the bats. Then we jump down to Double-A, where the Curve finally ended their 15-game losing streak, sitting at a whopping 6-21 now.
That is insane. 15-game losing streak, man.
The bullpen blew so many games.
Yeah, I was going to say too, because I don't know if we talked about this last week or who I talked about it with, but a lot of those games had seemed like they had been close. Like they weren't getting blown out most of the time. There's some blowouts, but they kept it close. But yeah, they finally won one.
Well, like I said, there were a couple games. They'd be ahead, and then Justin Mice would come in, or Linares would come in, or one of the other guys, and it was just all of a sudden 4 runs, 4 spot, 5 spot, and that offense is similar to how the Pirates had been for the past couple of weeks. They're down 3-4 runs. Chances are not much is going to happen outside of that week again. The first time they played Harrisburg, and I think both games they were getting beat 7-6-1, and they came back and won them.
Yeah,
and then I think that's when the losing streak started. But they're playing against the Somerset Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to get a break this week because the Yankees affiliate are currently first in team OPS, but 9th in team ERA. Atop their list is Spencer Jones. Not having a big year, but he's a very well-built kid with a lot of power. Consensus top 100 prospect. Their second highest rated on Somerset is Chase Hampton, but he's unfortunately on the 60-day IL. Probably helps explain their 9th out of 12th team ERA. Plus, they also traded a handful of guys away. Then, just some of the other names: Brock Selvage, Ben Rice, Augustin Ramirez. There's a lot of top prospects, although, let's see, was there 3 players on the IL, so... But a lot of good names there, so it's going to be a very competitive week for the Altoona rotation. So hopefully Bubba got things going. Salamito got things going.
Sean Sullivan it's supposed to get the double start this week, so we get to see 2 Sean Sullivan starts,
and he's always got it going, so he's good.
Absolutely.
Our golden child, the Greensboro Grasshoppers, are taking on the Tampa Bay Rays affiliate, Bowling Green Hot Rods.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be another, splashy name roster with Xavier Isaac, another very large first baseman with a lot of power. Braden Taylor, so that's their 2022 and 2023 first round picks there. Chandler Simpson, Colton Ledbetter, a couple outfielders with some pop in their bats. So Greensboro will be worth watching, per usual. Then we get down to the Murph preview with the Bradenton Marauders, who went 5-1 last week. They really boosted that record.
They had 4 wins going into the week, and they got it up to 9 with that.
They had fewer wins than Altoona going into the week, and now they have 9. But they're playing the St. Lucie Mets, affiliate of the New York Mets. Another pretty light list. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 prospects. One's on the IL, so 5 total. Top 30 from MLB Pipeline. Colin Houck is the highest rated one, 7th overall. He was a first round pick in 23. Shortstop. Jesus Baez was I think it was I don't have it on right now. 2022 international free agent signing, another shortstop, and then one that I'm personally interested in, Boston Barrow, who was
Okay.
a prep shortstop, um, drafted in the 8th round of 2023. So
Okay.
I think you got some interesting guys to look forward to.
Sounds like a lot of hitters.
Yeah.
Mainly hitters.
It's all infielders have one pitcher. Sal Garcia, right-hand pitcher for.
Well, I mean that's good. It's a good. It sounds like it's a good test for the pitching this week. You got a nice little mix of pitchers everywhere, or a nice mix of hitters that they're gonna have to face throughout the system. So it's nice to see them get pushed and stuff like that. So, but yeah, good stuff. Good stuff as always. Well, so you got any Nola knowledge for us before we close this out? He's on. I think you muted yourself.
Sorry. Give me 1 minute. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So I will talk here. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And I guess maybe now is a good time to see. You'll see on the website today. While I'm in Bradenton, Bucks on Deck, we're going to run a 20% off yearly subscriptions. So sign up, upgrade now to a yearly paid subscription, and you get 20% off. Pretty good deal. We do a lot of good stuff here at the site. Video breakdowns. I did a piece on exit velocity numbers early on with Bradenton and how they're kind of shaping out and maybe looking at numbers going forward and stuff like that. Of course, any content that I get down here while I'm here will be under the premium side of things. But yeah, gonna be a fun week. I'm excited. It's been something that I've been trying to get down to do. Almost got to do it last year, but kind of with the move and everything like that didn't really pan out that way. You good? You got it?
We're good now.
Okay. I told them the great news that while I'm in Bradenton that I'm going to be running 20% off on paid subscriptions for Bucks on Deck this week. Yeah. So I told them to upgrade and which leans right back to subscribe. Make sure and that leans back to Nola to see if he's got any Nola knowledge for us.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if it was probably off when I started my spiel. But I was gonna say, trying to keep it short. One thing I was thinking on that I wasn't even sure if I was gonna Nola knowledge it. That'll kind of go out to Connor Williams. But we need to stop with the whole ex-player needs to learn how to play baseball bullcrap. And just to speak on it quickly, I guess, especially with the O'Neal Cruz, we're talking about a player that was probably picked out at a very young age and was probably under, Buscones, 10, 11, 12 years old, with maybe some sort of professional teaching.
Yeah.
And then by 16 is in a professional organization. And he's been in professional organizations for a decade. And he's at the highest level you can be at. Pretty sure the guy knows how to play baseball.
Yeah. I'd imagine he a lot more knowledgeable on the game than most of us.
Yeah, which I guess another aspect of that too. Seeing I read through Noah Hiles' article, and one of the comments that made me laugh out to myself was Shelton saying they're trying to put players in the best position to succeed in terms of Paul Skeens. And I'm just like, are you? Because if you were putting players in the best position to succeed, you wouldn't be drafting all these fringe second basemen to play shortstop, to play outfield, or a Cruz probably shouldn't be at shortstop. Had another error the night of this recording. Henry Davis probably would not be playing catcher. They appear to make it more difficult than it should be. It's like by that point, by the time the guys are getting to the major, they should be set in a spot to where you're putting them in the best position to succeed, and they don't really seem to be doing that.
Yeah, it's like Henry Davis is like the poster child for that at this point. Like, you say you want to set them up to succeed, you call him up, say it's for his bat, you stick him into a position that he's barely played. He does really poorly in that. So, like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to stick you back at your original position that it wasn't even a guarantee that he was going to be able to stick there. Now you got to learn how to not only hit major league pitching, because like he was okay, he wasn't great last year, and you got to learn how to manage an entire pitching staff as well at the major league level. While after missing an entire year of development at that position,
right?
That doesn't really seem like setting him up for success. And he was one of your first overall picks that you had. This is the guy that you invested heavily in, and you've kind of just destroyed him pretty much. Like, yeah.
Well, that's why I kind of going back to Cruz again. It's the fact that, when he was in low A, it was like, well, he'll get better with time and reps. Then he got to high A. He'll get better with time and reps. Double A. He'll get better with time and reps. Triple A. Major League. It's like, okay, we've been doing the whole he'll get better with time and reps for a very long time now. Maybe it's time to accept that, hey, he could be a 30-30 player that plays anywhere. It doesn't have to be shortstop.
No.
30-30 works in center field. 30-30 works in right field. Put him at DH. He'll be 40-40. Who knows?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's frustrating, and that's why I watch minor league games, and that's about it. So I'm going to go bury my head in the sand that is the Florida Complex League and Single A for the next week, and not think much about stuff like that.
Well, there you go. So, I think you should rest up and prepare for a big week.
Yeah. I've been up since 1:00 in the morning, and it is 11:00 as we go to about wrap it up. So, yeah. You want to go ahead and give out your socials and everything like that? I know it's sitting right there, but I guess for the
for the people, I never know what side. At Nola Jeffy, NOLAJEFFY.
And you follow me at _Murphy88. The written version of Nola's preview will be up on the site in the morning. Daily features, 10:00, game day. Come talk baseball with us. We're generally pretty active in there. I know the community itself is growing pretty strong. We get quite a few people in there to talk throughout the day. It was brought to my attention on that it does seem like it's a little bit light sometimes in there, but like we do 2 to 3 articles a day. I think yesterday we did like 4. So the comments can get a little spread thin and stuff like that. I'm looking at ways to maybe kind of condense everything. I have some ideas and stuff like that, but subscribe to the site. Like I said, for the next week while I'm here in Bradenton, you get 20% off of a yearly subscription. Just follow.
If you want more of an FCL preview, Wilbur just posted a.
Yep, he breaks that. It's a two-parter. He has an entire article dedicated to nothing but the hitters and the pitchers. I'll reshare those out tomorrow for everyone to see, because I might have missed one of the days packing and whatnot. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Till next week.